September 8th, 2009, United States Marine Dakota L. Meyer and his team were accompanying two Afghan army platoons on their way to a meeting in a village called Ganjgal in the Kunar province of Afghanistan. Once they got close to the village, the Marines and the two Afghan army platoons exited their vehicles and proceeded towards the village on foot. But Dakota Meyer and a handful of other Marines stayed back with the vehicles to maintain security at the rally point while the rest of the team took care of business inside the village. But while moving into the village, the patrol was ambushed by more than 50 enemy fighters firing rocket-propelled grenades, mortars, and machine guns from the houses and fortified positions on the slopes above them. Hearing over the radio that 4 U.S. team members were now pinned down and stranded out in the open by heavy enemy fire, Dakota Meyer requested permission to go in after them, but he was told to stay put. But Dakota Meyer and his fellow Marine driving the vehicle did not listen. Meyer took the exposed gunner's position in a gun truck as they sped down the steep terrain in a daring attempt to disrupt the enemy's attack and locate the trapped U.S. team members. Disregarding intense enemy fire now concentrated on their lone vehicle, Dakota Meyer killed a number of enemy fighters with the mounted machine guns and his rifle, some of which were at near point-blank range, as he and his driver made 3 solo trips into the ambush area. During the first 2 trips, he and his driver evacuated 24 Afghan soldiers, many of which were wounded. And when one machine gun became inoperable, he directed a return to the rally point to switch to another gun truck for a 3rd trip into the ambush area, where his accurate fire directly supported the remaining U.S. personnel and Afghan soldiers fighting their way out of the ambush. Despite a shrapnel wound to the arm, Corporal Meyer made 2 more trips into the ambush area in a 3rd gun truck, accompanied by 4 other Afghan vehicles, to recover more wounded Afghan soldiers and search for the missing U.S. team members. Still under heavy enemy fire, he dismounted the vehicle on the 5th trip and moved in on foot to locate and recover the bodies of his team members. When he finally made it into the trench where his 4 friends had been trapped, he immediately checked them all for a pulse, but the bodies were already stiff. He found one of his friends face down in the trench with his GPS in his hand. His face appeared as if he was screaming. He had been shot in the head. Meyer, still under intense enemy fire, got all of their bodies out. By the end of the ambush, Dakota Meyer had saved 36 soldiers. More than 24 of them were Afghans. Dakota Meyer received the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions that day, making him the 2nd Marine to receive the Medal of Honor during the War on Terrorism and the first living Marine to earn the Medal of Honor since the end of the Vietnam War. But his story doesn't end there. When Myers got back home from Afghanistan, he began working for a military subcontractor called Osgar. He did very well working there as a trainer, and he got a chance to work for another company called BAE Systems, which has revenues of more than $1.5 billion in government contracts. But he learned that the company was pursuing sales of advanced thermal optic scopes to Pakistan. He thought that these scopes were better than what most American soldiers had available to them. Myers had joined BAE to help make equipment to protect American troops. He saw it as his way of still doing his part in the civilian world. But he felt that by selling this high-level equipment to Pakistan, they were doing the exact opposite of that. They're simply taking the best gear available, the best technology on the market to date, and giving it to the guys that are known to stab us in the back. These are the same people who are killing our guys. Myers quickly made his views on the situation well known throughout the company, but unfortunately some of the higher-ups began to belittle him and taunt him, even going as far as to make fun of him and his Medal of Honor nomination, which I have no idea how you do that, but that's what they did. So Myers quit his job and then got in touch with his old manager at Osgar, Tom Grant, who informed him that he would be happy to have him back at the company. But unfortunately, this is where things start to go wrong. Tom Grant sent another email to Meyer informing him that he would be unable to hire him because some of the higher-ups at BAE were claiming that Myers was mentally unstable and had problem finishing tasks and also had a drinking problem. Myers is now suing the company for defamation, claiming that their description of him was false and done in retaliation for his position on them selling equipment to Pakistan. He received no formal reprimands and that no one at BAE reached out to him about his alleged problems. BAE has extensive experience employing veterans and even has a program for those who have been wounded, as Meyer was. Bill Cohen, a retired Marine lieutenant colonel, wrote in a furious defense of Meyer for FoxNews.com, "They are engaging a Medal of Honor winner and accusing him of being unstable and a problem drinker. If either or both are true, he should have been confronted, counseled, and possibly let go before he resigned." One of the higher-ups at Asgard spoke out, saying that while Meyer was working for them, they never saw evidence of either of those issues. Instead, he exhibited a maturity for his age and an insightful capability to get the job done. One is left wondering whether BAE made up or inflated those complaints to disparage Meyer using cheap stereotypes about PTSD, or if the firm simply tossed away someone who had refused to leave others behind, keeping him from getting another job. BAE won't comment on the specifics of the lawsuit's defamation claims other than to disagree. The company added in a statement that Mr. Myers' heroic actions in Afghanistan serve as a reminder to all our employees of why we do what we do at BAE Systems, to help bring the men and women of our armed forces home from the battlefield safely. We are grateful to Dakota Meyer for his valiant service and bravery above and beyond the call of duty. BAE Systems had a serious PR problem on their hands. Being sued for defamation by a war hero with the Medal of Honor around his neck isn't exactly a good look. But just 2 weeks after Myers first filed the lawsuit against them, BAE announced that they had settled their dispute. The terms of the settlement were not mentioned in their statement. BAE claims that they're confidential, and Myers refused to discuss the terms as well. But I think it's safe to say that they most likely paid Dakota Meyer quite a bit of money, which is fantastic news. But I think this shines the light on a much bigger issue in our country. Imagine how much differently this situation could have been if this had been a lesser known Marine without the Medal of Honor around his neck. I wish we could say that this was an isolated event and something that doesn't happen very often, but unfortunately veterans are mistreated all the time in this country. But at least we can take this as a win for veterans everywhere. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this, so make sure you let me know down in the comment section below. But that's going to be the end of this story for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for checking it out, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.